Yes, welcome back to the Seed Morning Show. Today we are again addressing the issue of sexual violence, a problem that continues, unfortunately, to impact many, especially women. So according to the data that we got from Komnas Perempuan, over 289,000 cases of gender-based violence happened in 2023 alone.
Yeah, that's not a good number. And this issue is even more severe for vulnerable groups, such as women with disabilities and home care workers, who face additionally challenges in seeking justice and support. And we will deep dive into this topic and discussing. And joining us today is Andreas Harsono, a Human Rights Watch researcher. Good morning, Ms. Andreas. Thank you for being here with us.
Ms. Andreas. Thank you so much for being with us to talk about this issue that you've decided to really focus and put your energy into making people aware of this issue in Indonesia. So what societal and cultural factors do you think contribute to the prevalence of sexual harassment in various communities, but especially this time we focus on vulnerable groups like women with disabilities and also home care workers?
You mentioned about the number of sexual violence against women according to Komnas Perempuan, 280, 280,000 something. But if you take a look at those data and delve into cases of women with disabilities, the number in 2017, 2018, 2019 are less than 90 per year. So you can imagine 280,000 something, and the number of women with disabilities is less than 90 annually. What does it mean? It means that very few are reported to the police or Komnas Perempuan.
Yes.
Why? Because these women are invisible. There are many factors. If they want to report to the police, they don't know how to do that. There are huge challenges. And also, there are not many police officers with enough training to adequately handle cases of sexual violence against women with disabilities. And not to say to navigate the legal system in Indonesia, and not to say about seeking medical treatment for women with disabilities. My sister is one of them. She just died 2 weeks ago because of sexual assault.
Yeah, we're very sorry for your loss.
So how do we help then? I mean, it's like, as you mentioned, it's underreported, obviously. So it means that, you know, like family members or the people around them, how do we help so that such violence does not happen to women with disabilities and also their home carers, actually?
There should be more attention. In my sister's case, she was taking care of our ailing mother. My mother, 81 years old, has stroke, dementia, bedridden. My sister is the only sibling that stay at home. Of course, she cannot do the treatment herself, 24 hours. So we have a young nurse, home care nurse, nurses actually, two of them, helping to take care of my mother. The nurse was actually the one who was first assaulted. She was molested and she ran away. Then the man turned to my sister. My sister is a Puritan woman and she has schizophrenia. When her body was touched, she said, no, I'm asking you to come here to help me, not to have, to have any relationship. And then 4 days later, she sought medical treatment, psychiatric treatment because of her mental health issue. And 2 weeks later, the nurse stopped working after skipping work for 4 days after the incident. That snowballing until my sister herself was hospitalized. At the end of the 3rd week, she died because of mental breakdown. Many women, not only women with mental health issues, quote-unquote normal women, when you are molested inside a train station, inside a train car, in a crowded bus stop, you will think about that for many, many nights, weeks, even months. But in the case of women with disabilities, they can think about that for years, for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was
And-
your sister able to express what
Yes.
happened?
The first week she was shy. She kept quiet, like most women when they are harassed, when they are sexually
They
molested.
changed their behavior. a
Yeah,
little bit.
they keep quiet. They don't want to report.
Yeah.
But the second week, when the man wrote a letter apologizing to her, to me,
Yeah.
as a brother, and then the church, their fellow church attendees,
Yeah.
the church say, please don't report this to the police because he is a devout church goer, and he has a daughter who is studying to be a priest. Then my sister became so upset, and she was so angry, frustrated with the church. That is the second week.
Yeah.
And then the third week, hospitalized. End of the third week, she died.
Well, it seems that, again, the one that we felt that we should have that safe haven sometimes will not give us the support or the safe haven that we're supposed to be given. Now, again, this happens, in a metropolitan city, but if we see throughout Indonesia, there are many rural areas, suburbans, where this kind of situation also happened. And there's the social stigma, Mas Andreas. Please elaborate to us how we've also, catered the news where we have women with disabilities, even the parents itself kind of shine away from the community because they felt like, I have a daughter that has disabilities, and even them have become the perpetrator for the women itself that becomes the victim. I mean, this social stigma right here in Indonesia, I think, is still very imminent.
Yeah.
In regards to that, how should we come upon this? I mean, this has become a huge challenge for us.
Public awareness is one thing.
Yeah.
Public education is a big challenge. The media, journalists do play a role in educating the public. Law enforcement institution is another challenge. In Indonesia, when dealing with sexual violence against women, we need policewomen. We need policewomen.
Yes.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the number of policewomen is only 6% of the police force in Indonesia.
Wow.
It is far below the target of 15% that the Indonesian government set up themselves. Not to say judges, not to say prosecutors. So it is a big, big challenge.
Right. And of course, we know also that sometimes, we've seen a lot of cases. I come from a background where I'm from a law enforcement family myself. Sometimes the victims from the family, they do not want to share their problems. They still think it's very taboo. If we
Yeah,
put
it's a
this,
shame,
it's going to
right?
be on the medias. We don't want to kind of shame our family. So whatever happened to you, especially if this happens to a female or a woman, it's okay, you're going through this. We'll have some psychiatrists, psychologists, and you'll go through this, but you don't know mentally for the victim, especially if they're still young.
Yeah.
And even though there's women or women with disabilities, again, as you said before, Mas Andreas.
In my family, the big family is basically divided into 3 camps.
Okay.
One camp, and all of them are women, say that we need to seek the truth. We need to report
Of
this
course.
to the police.
Yes.
The second can say, no, it is a waste of time. You know how the legal system works.
It takes a long time.
Yeah,
Right.
it is tiring. And the third say that whatever the inner family decide, we will support.
Okay.
Luckily, because of these, female cousins, sisters in my family, they keep on pushing this brother. Go ahead, you have the expertise, you have the experience, you have the name. Please go forward. We are going to be 100% behind you.
What sort of mental preparation do you have to have as a family member who is helping, trying to bring justice, especially when a family member has been assaulted, Mas Andreas? Because as you mentioned earlier, three different ways of seeing. Like you had three sort of parts of families with different ways of seeing this issue. But you decided to pursue, and this is a long process. How do you prepare yourself? What are the things that you have to remind yourself? Okay, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna seek justice till the end.
One is we have a nurse who is also traumatized. We feel responsible for her well-being.
Yeah.
including her mental health. As quote-unquote employer, we thought that my sister is dead. She will not return to life. But this young nurse is still there. We feel that we need to support her and her family. And second, many of the younger big family members, teenagers, young girls, they say that, uncle, you have to do it. If not, who will do it in this big family? This big family need to stand up, not only for my sister who already passed away, but for women with disabilities in general, and for home care nurses, home care workers. Many of these women are invisible. And I believe there are many sexual abuses against these two categories of women, women with disabilities and home care nurses. Many of them are young women.
Yeah.
Is there any systemic change that we can do? Like, for example, do we have a constitution that is enough already to protect women with disabilities, vulnerable groups? What do we need to strengthen to make sure that we safeguard them?
We need to strengthen the institution of the police, of the National Commission on Violence Against Women, with the National Commission on Disabilities. They are still understaffed, they are under budget. We need to educate the public that this thing happened. Many of these victims do not want to report. Just like those figures reveal. Those who reported to the police or reported to the National Commission on Women's Rights, they are very few.
When we see someone who is a victim of sexual violence, especially a woman or women with disabilities, what should we do as someone who knows about it and trying to help? But in a way, we want to help, but at the same time, it's their life. Their life is going to be impacted.
Well, they have to give a consent for sure.
Yeah.
Right? The concessions is...
How should we
seek
approach?
medical help.
Okay.
The first one is seek medical help. See a psychologist, a therapist, or even a psychiatrist. Although it is easier said than done. Indonesia has not enough psychiatrists, only less than 1,000.
Oh, wow.
1,000.
For Indonesia, 260 million people.
Yeah, and there are many provinces have no mental health hospital. There are some provinces without a single psychiatrist. Ideally, one kecamatan, one district should have one psychiatrist. We are still talking about, I don't know how many thousands of psychiatrists that we need in Indonesia. So one is seek help. Talk about the psychological depression, mental stress. And second, if things started to come down, report to the police with the support of the family. And always ask the police to provide a policewoman. Policewoman, because of course there are good policemen, but men might revive the traumas of the victim.
In what way, Mas Andreas?
Because
the
perpetrators are men. Most perpetrators are men, and most perpetrators are men who know the female victim. More than 90% of sexual violence are done by men who know the female victims, the girls, the woman, just like in the case of my sister.
So an acquaintance.
And of course you feel more comfortable if you're talking to another woman, and then from the side to have this emotional understanding. Sometimes again, talking about men and women.
There is a footnote. Not all women understand sexual violence. There are many women who are also judgmental against other women.
Well, I think that's the society that we're living on right now too, right, Mas Andreas?
But at least they might not incite the traumas, revive the traumas of the victim.
I think again, if you're talking about the challenges, there are so many factors that we can really right now put on the table. But in regards to this though, but what you already went through, and let's say there are some individuals or family right now that is going through what you had went through, Mas Andreas, and they feel powerless to address this, either to the authorities or going to seek for help. How can you give them, what would you like to convey to them right now to give them that power, and to give them that drive that you can do this, that your voice does matter?
I think from my sisters, my cousin, my nieces, they send messages to me, and also other women with disabilities, mothers who have children with disabilities. They send messages to me saying that, please go ahead. If you go ahead, we will support you always. And I think that is encouraging. They need people who are willing to spend time, spend money, of course, because Jember, Jakarta is pretty far. Train ride is 14 hours, one ride. By standing up for our rights, for these women's rights.
Yes. And I think there in the community, we still have good people that would like to support,
Yes.
even though we're not related at all. And with the power of social media nowadays, we can really support each other.
Yeah. Best of luck with the rest of the legal proceedings, Mas Andreas. Hopefully we see good light in this case, and this will become a great example for us and for the Indonesian government to give better protection to women with disabilities and also home caregivers. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you
very
for
much,
having me
Mas
here.
Andreas.
Thank you. Right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more news for you.